Hello, everyone. This is Joe Swinger. I'm the founder of the Silver Linings Network and a member of the National Speakers Association of New Mexico. And I'm so happy today to start our first video of the new incoming year of 2021. Boy, I'm dating myself. And I'm speaking with our incoming president, Janelle Barlow. Janelle is a national member since 1981. She's a past president, and she's also been a president of the Global Speaker Federation. Welcome to the show, Janelle.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. I'm really happy to be here with you.
Yeah, and so there's so many things I want to discuss. It's our new season, and we're lining up our latest speaker lineup. But before I go down that path, can you tell us a little about yourself and how you got into speaking and that kind of thing professionally?
Yeah, I pretty much was born into it. When I was 6 years old, I was in my first speech contest, and then continued with that. And in high school and in college, I was on the debate team, and I just loved it. And I thought, I would love to make a living doing this. And then a number of years later, after attempting jobs, I had severe stress-related problems, and I developed a program to help people. And then I went into corporations and started selling it. At that point, well, I should say at some point, I realized, my gosh, you are earning a living speaking. And that was just so exciting for me that it happened that way. But I don't want anybody to think that it's easy. It really, to develop a speaking career, as you know, Joe, it's a commitment that you make to yourself and the world.
Yeah, it's a commitment. It's a business. And that's what we like to tell authors. It's not about the book. It's a business. Mm-hmm. And speaking is the same way. And yeah, obviously, the speaking world has changed with this pandemic, and all the keynotes and that have kind of gone online. And so why do you think speaking is so important in today's world? I mean, many people have a message and they want to get it out, whether they're authors or speakers or podcasters. Why do you think speaking is so important today?
I just want to say that if somebody's got a message, that's the first step. And that's really important. You want to be passionate and believe in your message and then know it. So that's really critical. But then learning how to be an effective speaker is something else as well. And then building the business around it is another matter. Is another matter altogether. That old expression that people would rather die than get up in front of a group and speak. I've never really fully believed that. I think if push came to shove and somebody said, okay, you're dead or you're getting up there and speaking, they'd speak. But I think what makes people so nervous about speaking is that you stand up there exposed. You really are exposed. You got an audience looking at you and you can blow it. I don't know any really effective speaker who's been in the business for a time who hasn't blown it. I really don't. It certainly has happened to me on a number of occasions. And you got to learn and pick yourself back up again and then get up there again. And I'll say this also, it's one thing to know how to give one speech and do it well. Like maybe you spoke at a wedding and you were just great as the person who, what do they call that when they rib the bride and the groom, that speaker?
Toast, giving a toast?
Yeah, the toast, one of the toasting people. But the really hard thing about speaking is that you've got to be good this time and next time and next time and next time. Because when you're in the business, the speech that gets you hired is the last one that you did, pretty much. If you blow it, the word spreads around pretty quickly. How was this speaker? Well,
hey, speaking of blowing it, I blew your introduction. So, yeah, I mean, I've done these, hundreds of times.
Yeah, so right. I liked it.
We mentioned speakers. So you do have the people that give the toast, and then you have the keynote, and then you have people that speak to impact others, speak in front of a workshop. So there's all different methods of speaking.
That's right.
So
and can I just jump in and add some more? And that is salespeople speak. And people who work in businesses, they speak in front of their teams, in front of their groups. And very, very frequently, it's your ability to speak that enables you to get promoted. So, NSA counts people who work inside corporations as speakers, especially trainers. But salespeople are really critical in this business. They've just got to be excellent or they're going to buy the next company.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if somebody is thinking about joining the National Speakers, the New Mexico branch, what do you think they would get out of it? I mean, why would somebody want to join us?
Well, I
Outside
think
of we're nice people.
Yeah, yeah, we are nice people. We really are. We are a super nice group of people. We're very, very helpful. We're sharing, and it's always been that way in the National Speakers Association. It's a community of speakers who want everybody to be good. Because, if you're not good, Joe, then that company that hired you is going to have second thoughts about hiring me. So I want everybody in the field to be good. And in the NSA, what we do is we cover the art of speaking, which is an important part, and that I think is something that you have to learn how to do throughout your entire life. You may be pretty good at it today, but another 10 years, you're going to be even better, and so on. You just constantly learning. I don't think I've ever heard a speech where I didn't learn something about my own speaking style, my own need to do something different. And I've been in the business for a long time. So that's the A of speaking. The B, the ABCs of that B is the business. And in the National Speakers Association, we all know you can't just sit there and wait for the phone to ring. It doesn't happen. You have to get out there and build a business. And then the C is the content. You have to have content as well. And we have a really strong rule, and that is find your own content. Don't copy somebody else's content. So you really need to be committed on a number of different levels. You're a private entrepreneur. Unless, of course, you're working for one of these training companies, you're still a speaker. You're just doing it in a different way. And can I just say this? The one thing that we teach in the NSA, or that we say in the NSA, is there is no one way to do this business, or to be a speaker, or to do, some speakers sing, some speakers dance. And Dan Thurman, who was in the Olympics, he bounces onto the stage. He does a double backflip or something like that. Everybody does their own thing. So it's really critical you find what is it that makes you unique? What is your unique style? And then really get that out there and practice. It just takes a lot of practice. And then calling.
Yeah, that's great. So I deal a lot with middle-aged people, who want to make the second half of life the best half. And if somebody was thinking about entering into the speaking world, first off, many times they think they're too old to get started. But if they wanted to get started, what do you think would be one of the first things, or first couple of things they would do, or you would do if you were at that age and looking to get started?
I would join the National Speakers Association without question. The learning curve just goes up so dramatically. You can learn how to be a better speaker through trial and error. That's kind of a hard, slow way to learn this business. I don't know how you'd be a brain surgeon without getting some specific content. And the National Speakers Association is a really good place to do that. Now, if you just want to be a better speaker, I think Toastmasters is great. That's their focus. That's their brand position. But the National Speakers Association is for people who want to make a business out of this. And some people that I know, even their business is speaking for free. That's still a business. They're just not making any money at it, but they've got audiences. Because, there's a lot of groups that want speakers who will speak at no charge. They're there.
Well, especially if they have a message they want to give out. But you brought up a good point I wanted to ask you. Mm-hmm. I hear people that say, never speak for free. And then there's other people that say, speak any chance you can. Mm-hmm. Even if it's for free, you never know who's in the audience and that kind of thing. What's your feeling on something like that?
My feeling is, once again, that answer, there's no one way to do this business. And if the only way you can get an audience is to speak for free, then I suggest you start there. And then somebody will come up to you probably and say, that was really great. Do you think you could say that to my group? They don't know what you're getting paid. They don't know that you're speaking for free. Then you say, well, yes, I'd be glad to do that. And then they will ask you, what's your fee? You better have a number in mind. Absolutely, because you don't want to stand there and say, well, I've never been paid before. Transparency is not always the key here. And then you just start. You build on that experience and you get references, and then you get better and you get more content and you get better at your craft. And that's basically how people build this business. But I really want to say, if you're already got a full-time job and you're getting paid for that, what you probably want to do is to focus on content and on the art or the craft of speaking if the business is already there for you. Most speakers have the hardest time with the business.
Yeah, so I belong to the club of always say yes and figure it out afterwards. If somebody says, hey, can you speak on this or whatever? And so I don't know what your feeling is on that. Typically, we're going to be able to figure it out. But
Yeah.
so let's talk about, we're entering the new year, and what exciting speakers or programs or events do you have upcoming? Can you give us a little sneak peek?
Yes, yes. Well, one of our first speakers is a woman who's, I mean, she really fits the mold of don't let anybody else tell you what you should do. She's one of the best speakers in the United States, and her market is a niche market. And she's going to talk to us about how to build a niche market, because some people will speak to anybody. But she's got a niche market, and that market is the agricultural market. Now, you may think, oh, she's speaking to farmers. Well, yes, she is speaking to farmers, but she's also speaking to, Caterpillar and John Deere, and she's speaking to a whole bunch of organizations that have farmers as members. It's a huge, huge market. She was telling me about it the other day. I was amazed. But somebody else might even just take a piece of that niche and decide that that's what they want to do. It's one of a really good piece of advice, and that is, define your niche and make it as narrow as you can, and just focus and focus and focus on it. That's Jolene Brown. She's wonderful. I've just been talking with Mark Rayburn. We're trying to figure out which dates he can come. He may be on our first program as well. Mark Rayburn is this guy from Las Vegas who's a remarkable guitarist. He's just incredible. And he's built his speaking career around inspirational messages that relate to somebody doing what he does on the guitar. He's a phenomenon to watch. So that's probably where we're going to start the year. And then it goes on. We've got salespeople. We've got people who are really good at delivering online courses, people who are really good at Zooming, people who are, and then we've got an Emmy award winning speaker who's going to be speaking for us. And that's Mark Scherenbrow from Minnesota. This guy is phenomenal. And we're going to ask him to take his keynote speech and dissect it. Now, probably in his case, we'll show some snippets because he's funny and he needs an audience laughing to make him really go. Of course, with Zoom, we're not going to have that. So we'll probably do a video, we'll show a video, and then he'll tell us how did he do this? How did this story come about? How did he work this in? How did he make the main points? Even if you're a trainer, you have to be able to do this at one point or another inside your day presentation, but they're not going to invite you back. They don't want just content when you're a trainer. They want somebody who's inspirational, motivational. That's what keynoters do. That's all they do. But everybody else who's a trainer, they really need to learn how to do this as well. So there's a whole bunch of other things. Terry Brock and
don't give all the secrets away now.
Okay, all right. We've just got so many great people who have agreed to come. I've got about, I think, 6 more slots to fill, and I'm really working hard to come up with the best people in the United States. It's fairly easy to get them this year because it's virtual. They don't have to fly to see us. They just have to be there in front of their computer.
So I like what you said about the niches. There's a saying, there's riches in the niches, right? I mean, the generalist does not make the money. It's the specialist.
Well, and come back to that rule. There's no one guideline. There's some generalists who make money. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the great thing, you said it was virtual. So anybody, I mean, you don't have to live in New Mexico, right? You could be anywhere.
That's right. Yeah. We'd welcome
these great programs.
Yeah, and our fees are very, very reasonable. $99 for the year, if I can say that, and then you get to attend all the programs for free. If you want to just attend one program, it's $20. We have no expenses against this, so we're able to. We really want to build up our membership. We want to show what we're capable of here in New Mexico, and I think we're going to do that. And
where would they go if they wanted to sign up?
Go to our webpage, which is NSA New Mexico, www.NSA New Mexico. And I'm not sure it's up there right now, Joe, and on this day, which is June 20th, but it's going to be up there real soon. Or they can drop me an email and I'll make sure they get it. And my email is Janelle@MoveMinds, like moveyourmind.com, and I'll take care of it for them.
Yeah, we could put the link below the video too.
Okay, super, super.
And so that's great, Janelle. So any last words to us?
You
As
know,
the incoming president?
if this has been your fantasy, why do you want to live your life without living that fantasy? I mean, Joey, don't you just love getting up in front of a group? Yeah,
I do, but you're right. They say that's the scariest thing for people. The number one fear.
But once somebody's helped you do that.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know. There's something that's so complete about sharing who you are and sharing your content and having a group of people just love what you're saying and using that information. For me, that's the big test. Do they go out and do something with it? That really is what gives me a thrill.
And I think the people that worry about it are focusing on themselves. How do I look? How do I sound? Am I going to remember? It's all about focusing on the audience. What are you delivering to them, right? That's where the focus should be. And if you're out there to inspire, the magic will happen.
It's like any business that has a customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay attention to your customer.
All right. Well, this has been a pleasure, Janelle. We're with Janelle Barlow, the incoming president of the National Speakers Association, New Mexico chapter. And we're going to continue these throughout the year. And it's been great, Janelle.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Nice to talk with you, Joe.